What's up, y'all? We're back with another video, and today we are watching the most painful gamer deaths ever, and this is by a talking hat, so let's just get into it.
The Royale Incident. Addiction is a chronic condition characterized by a compulsive urge to engage in a specific behavior like drinking, substance abuse, or in this case, Clash Royale. A young man...
I don't understand the addiction to Clash Royale. Like, I played it in high school. I played it in high school in junior year, and that's probably the most I ever played it. But after that, I just stopped playing it because it was just bland. It wasn't all that. I really enjoyed Clash Royale or Clash of Clans a lot more than Clash Royale. I'm not gonna lie, mainly because I played Clash Royale a lot more as a kid. So that's probably why, and I always just wish I had diamonds to use in Clash of Clans. But Clash Royale ain't it for me, I'm not gonna lie.
Man had grown so attached to the mobile game that it became the center of his life.
That's
he was
crazy.
a level 9 and was already at 3,600 trophies, which, honestly, is pretty impressive considering that this took place back in 2016. In those times, having just 3,000 trophies would literally place you in the highest arena. To put it into perspective for today's time, it'd be like getting to 15,000 trophies when you're just a level 12.
Needs to come back to Siege.
In other words, he was a sweat. Each victory gave him a rush of validation, and each loss felt like a personal failure. His days revolved around the climb, pushing trophies, upgrading cards, and chasing more wins. Over time, his joy...
that's not having a job and being in school. When you were in school, you had so much time on your hands, so much, and you just never realized how much time you had while you were in school.
Turned into obsession. The game that once entertained him slowly began to consume him. It was no longer just Clash Royale, the app was now his life. He took everything personal. Unfortunately for him, on one fateful night, the man would become overwhelmed by the two cards he absolutely hated the most in the game, Elite Barbs and Hog Riders. Match after match, player after player, his opponents kept using these cards with their levels completely maxed out. He began losing every round, with each loss angering him more than the last. Before the young man even realized it, he had dropped down hundreds of trophies in a single day, and at that point, something inside him...
Bro was on a losing streak. A crazy losing streak. That's insane.
Broke. Rage and despair collided. The man threw his phone, got up from his seat, and began slamming his head against the wall, non-stop.
Is this a grown adult? If this is like, where is his parents? I don't hope this was the kid, because that's actually crazy that a kid did this and unfortunately passed away. That's set up though. You have the wrong, we're not worried about the setup right now. We're worried about if this person is a kid or a grown adult, because if he's a grown adult, then it's kind of like, all right, you a grown adult getting mad at a mobile game, throwing your phone and then bashing your head against the wall. If this is a kid, it's like, damn, you got mad at a game on your phone and started bashing your head against the wall and nobody was there to stop you.
He was overcome with the idea that losing in this game he had invested so much of his life into meant that he lost at life. This was the man's attempt at self-deletion. He kept slamming his head into the wall in a desperate attempt to end his life. But as excruciating pain seared into him through his skull, he'd fall back and collapse to the ground, unsuccessful. As the man woke up and realized what he was doing, the horror of it snapped him back to reality. He broke down crying, realizing how far he had fallen.
Oh, that's probably like, it's the same thing of like surviving a fire and you're like engulfed with fire, and it's just like, now you gotta live with that. Now you gotta live with all those burn marks. It's like, I know there's a lot of people that survived a fire that wish that they didn't, because of how they have to live afterwards, and that
into something meant to be fun. He'd receive medical attention, then later he'd go on to post about his experience on Reddit. What I personally thought was some edgy joke made by a person messing around on a Clash Royale subreddit couldn't be farther from the truth. Especially when I took a look at the man's account, which has now been deleted off of the platform for violating rules. The Gamer Rage incident. In June 2024, a gaming dispute took an unthinkable turn from the virtual world into real life.
Is this...
After receiving constant trash...
Is this... I think I probably heard this. Is this the dude that had, like they were talking shit back and forth on Call of Duty, and the dude found out where he lived that was talking shit to him and flew to his house and broke into his house with a hammer and everything? I wonder if that's the one that he's talking about.
Talk and beratement from another player on a dying video game, a 20-year-old man from New Jersey finally decided that enough was enough. His favorite video game was shutting down its servers, his life was stressing him out, and this player was still trash-talking him. The man sat down and deeply pondered how he'd go about addressing his situation, and it was at that moment that he came up with an ingenious idea. He'd go and find out where the player lived, tell his mother that he was going to visit a distant friend, and then fly 1,000 miles to the player's town. Upon arrival, he'd purchase a hammer at a local hardware store, and then found the man's house. At 2 a.m., the 20-year-old would enter through the man's unlocked door. Then he ambushed him and struck him repeatedly as he walked out of his bedroom.
Okay, first of all, why is your door unlocked? I think this took place in like 2018, but like, why is your door unlocked in big 2018? Like, why? What purpose would your door be unlocked for? In any type of circumstance, it's the middle of the night. Why is your door unlocked? There's no reason for your door to be unlocked in the middle of the night unless you're going outside, but he was inside. So halfway it's on him, other side is just like, that's crazy that you really went through and flew to this nigga's house just to hit him with a hammer over a video game that was already dying.
And would break into a panic and completely freak out whilst trying to register the totally unbelievable situation before his eyes. Some dude he was trash talking on an MMO was actually inside his house at 2 o'clock, attacking him. During their struggles, the man began to scream out for help, and to his complete luck, his stepfather happened to be awake and nearby. The two of them together were able to stop and subdue the 20-year-old until deputies arrived. Although he was injured pretty badly, the man survived and received staples that had helped close several head wounds. As for the other man, Kang was arrested on multiple felony charges, and when questioned about why he did what he did, he chillingly replied by
looks like somebody that would do something like this. He looks like somebody that would do something like this. Didn't have no friends in school. Like, was just alone all day. All he did was play that same game over and over again, locked in his room. His parents would try to check up on him. He would disregard them.
by saying that the other gamer was a bad person online. The VR incident.
Oh, I know.
In December 2017, a 44-year-old man in Moscow was at home with his headset strapped on, fully immersed in a VR session. But inside his apartment, the line between the simulated world and the real one blurred. As he moved around the room, he lost his footing and stumbled hard.
Oh, don't tell me. Oh, don't tell me. Please don't tell me he tripped and fell. This is a predict. He tripped and fell on a table and hit the corner of the table. What am I predicting?
Slamming into a glass table. The impact was devastating. Glass was everywhere, on and inside of him. As the man stood back up, he didn't even have a moment to panic or call 911. He instantly fell back down and became unresponsive.
Oh,
unfortunately, investigators later reported that he passed away almost instantly. There was no chance to save him. This stood as one of the first recognized incidents where a VR caused the passing of an individual. It serves as a stark reminder that while virtual reality transports us to other worlds,
that's low-key on him though, because the VR literally with my Quest, right? It literally has you scan your entire room and scan all the objects that are in your room, like furniture and all that stuff. And it will tell you if you're too close to that object, because it will literally, these cameras in the front, it will take you out of the game and show you what's in front of you if you end up getting too close to that stuff. So it's like, low key, that's kind of on him, but it's still unfortunate that it happened.
Our bodies never leave this one. One misstep in your living room is more dangerous than any simulated battlefield rendered on a screen. So remember to always be aware of your surroundings when you put your VR on. The window incident. As it grew dark outside, it rained and thundered on. This night was supposed to be a quiet, relaxing session of gaming for this 33-year-old man.
Bro, gaming while it's raining, bars, is probably the best feeling known to man. Especially when it's like heavy rain. I ain't talking about the game. It just makes it just has a different feeling to it. It really does. It feels relaxing. There's a nostalgic feeling to it, because I just remember being in my living room playing on my PS4 in middle school, and it would just be raining and I would be on the game with my friends playing Fortnite and all that stuff. Peak Fortnite at that. Peak Fortnite, peak Apex, peak Overwatch. There's no better feeling than that, other than like the Wii U, all that stuff. There's no better feeling than that.
In the UK, he sat in his living room playing his PS5, unaware of the complete chaos that yet awaited him.
My PS5 turned on.
He opened up his window for some fresh air and resumed his gaming. However, the weather of the night would have no plans of calming down anytime soon. Slowly, it began storming harder and harder outside of his house. Then, in the midst of his game, a sudden bolt of lightning struck his home, bounced off of a puddle of water outside, and then bolted right through his open window and slammed straight into his body. The impact from the...
Is the nigga Barry Allen? This nigga has to be Barry Allen. He's the Flash. Like, if this happened to me and I got 0 powers off of this, I would be so mad. I'm dead, but I would be so hot. I would be so hot in the afterlife. I'm like, this, first of all, this one in a million chance of a happening scenario happens, and another probably like 1 in a billion of this lightning bolt bouncing off of a puddle into my house to strike me, and I didn't get powers from that? What are we talking about? Like, what are we honestly talking about? I would be so hot in afterlife. I would be looking at my dead corpse like fucking Yusuke from Yu Yu Hakusho, like I really just died like that. I just died in such a rare way and got no benefit. Like, bro.
The lightning bolt was so immense that it launched him from his chair and shocked the living hell out of him, scarring his body with branch-like burns. But, despite how lethal lightning strikes are, the man somehow rose back up from the ground. His head was throbbing and his body was on fire, but he was completely confused, not knowing what hit him. He went to his partner and asked for a wet towel because he had a headache, but upon seeing his horrific condition, they immediately freaked out and rushed him to a hospital to be treated. Doctors and staff took him in and did the best they could do for his burns and internal shock injuries. And against all odds, he somehow survived. Even though he didn't pass away,
and he got no powers. He got no powers from that. I would be so hot. I would be so tight because now I have to sit with these scars with no ability off of this random ass scenario. This is like, oh, this is literally a what would you do in this scenario? If a lightning bolt fucking bounces on a puddle, then bounces out into your house as you're playing the game, at that point, the world just has it against you. The world is literally just playing with your life. They said, yeah, I'm gonna make you think you're gonna die and bring you back. He literally Kratos that man. You know, when Thor took his hammer and said, oh no, I'm not done yet. Like, what are we talking about?
Way, I couldn't imagine how absolutely horrifying it must be for you to be playing video games in the safety of your living room 1 second and then getting struck by literal lightning the next second. Ironically enough, the man was playing Stray, and if you're not familiar with that, it's a game where you're a cat trying to find its way back to its family.
Baby, you still in here? Because we all know that you ain't finished this game.
You guessed it, a thunderstorm. The Roblox incident. In the fall of 2024, a boy whose only escape was Roblox found their world warped into something unrecognizable. What had once been a game of building, laughing, and running soon became the doorway to a disturbing nightmare. As the youngster continued his gaming, he'd stumble across another friendly gamer in the chat. But on the other side of the screen was Tara Alexis Sykes, a 36-year-old woman from
oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not even gonna tell y'all what she did. I'm gonna let him say it, but look, bro. She needs to stay in jail. Stay in jail, death sentence, something, the life penalty, because what she did is actually crazy.
Pensacola, Florida. And unfortunately, she wasn't just another player. She was something far more nefarious. The woman reached into the child's loneliness and began speaking to him as if she were a close friend and someone who deeply understood him. She took her time and earned his trust, and then she revealed her true intentions. She began instructing him to harm his family members. She told him to burn his younger sibling with scalding water and to violently throw him at the tile floor. If his parents found out, she commanded him to sneak into their room at night and to do away with them. She would go on to tell him to burn their house down with aerosol and matches. But when the youngster attempted the first of these vile instructions, deputies immediately arrived to the house. They found that some of the parents' sheets were covered in spray and questioned why he was hurting his younger sibling. Paralyzed in fear, the truth finally spilled out. The kid admitted that there was a woman online who was telling him that he had to do what he was doing. It was revealed that this vile witch used a children's game to puppeteer a child.
And she looks like somebody that would do this too. She, like, you know when somebody has that look of like, they're weird? She literally has that look. She has that, like, I don't know what it is. It's that gives him that look. It's just like, you could see it. Like, without even knowing this headline, without even knowing like any of this stuff, you could just see it. And I'm pretty sure he is sugarcoating it a little bit, because I'm pretty sure she was talking to her either son or daughter, and was basically, her son or daughter was taken away from her and was living with a new family, and basically telling her that she would basically come find her and like hurt her if she didn't do what she said. I'm pretty sure that's what like the actual story is.
Into attempted. Sykes was arrested and charged with multiple felonies. She was held without bond and now faces decades in prison. Thank God. There are countless stories like these on platforms like Roblox. If you're young, Do
It's
not talk
sad.
to strangers.
It's really
And
sad.
if you have younger siblings, monitor them and always check up on them personally to ensure that they're safe and happy. The hammer. It was supposed to be just another night, until a game turned into a motive for. In Russia, a young man was told by his parents to stop staying up all day and playing computer games overnight. His mother took away his keyboard,
Damn.
hoping to enforce some discipline.
And it's a
But
Logitech keyboard.
unfortunately, his obsession was darker than anyone realized. That night, while his father slept, the youngster crept into his bedroom with a sledgehammer. Yep, he literally showed.
Where did he get a sledgehammer? Did he just pull that out of his inventory? He was just like... He just said... You better give me back that keyboard. Things are gonna get real wicked. Things are gonna get real wicked if you don't keyboard. Like, where do you just pull out a sledgehammer? From where in your inventory do you just get a sledgehammer from? This nigga is not Sledge from Siege. Like, where do you find that? Why do you have a sledgehammer laying around?
Showed up with a 20-pound sledgehammer. He carefully covered his father's head with a plastic bag to ensure no mess would be made.
The dad didn't feel that? The dad didn't feel that. So you're telling me the dad just said... Dad really just said... Like, you don't feel somebody grabbing your head, pulling it up to put a bag over it? You're not breathing, you're not into the bag?
Then he lifted up the heavy tool and swung it down at his head. He struck him woefully with 6 brutal swings. And sadly, his father would never wake up. Even though it was his mother who took away his keyboard, he decided to attack his father instead because he was afraid that he'd wake up and stop him. After the vicious ambush, he demanded his keyboard back from his mother. He then went to his room, locked the door, and went straight to his computer setup where he would engross himself in an endless binge of gaming for hours until police were called. Thankfully, he was arrested and formally charged for what he did to his father. Relatives described him as reclusive, spoiled, and completely lacking discipline. With his father gone, he had finally believed that he was the head of the family, but bludgeoning your father with a hammer so that you can play games doesn't make you into a man. Unfortunately, it sort of makes you the opposite. Video games exist as some of the best entertainment out there in the world. They're fun, immersive, and detailed. But safety is more important than fun and immersion. Don't speak to random strangers on the internet. Don't let your gaming become compulsive and uncontrollable. And definitely don't let games make you so mad to the point you start physically attacking people. Game right and game safe. With that being said, I can absolutely destroy any one of you in a Clash Royale match. That's your problem, not mine. Now have a happy day.
And that with being said, that's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for everybody watching. Shout out to A Talking Hat yet again, making a banger video. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.